In this video, I'm going to show you one of my favorite exercises to lengthen your glutes, decrease tension in the back of your pelvis, and this is really great if you have SI joint pain. So this exercise is called pelvis over the femur. So our femurs are our thighs, our pelvis is this structure right here. And one way to help decrease tension back here is to work on our hip internal rotation. So hip external rotation is when our hip moves out. Hip internal rotation is when our leg moves inwards. Now we can also think about hip internal and external rotation from the stance of our pelvis. So if this is our reference leg, if my pelvis moves this way, this is hip internal rotation because my leg is relatively inwards relative to my pelvis. If I rotate my pelvis away, this hip is in relative external rotation. So you can work on hip internal rotation as an open and closed chain exercise. So open chain internal rotation would be if I actively internally rotate my hip or my leg. Closed chain hip internal rotation is when my pelvis moves relative to my femur. So to improve hip internal rotation, I'm going to show you this specific exercise, this closed chain exercise of moving the pelvis about the femur. So the femur is the stabilizing part of the exercise. We're going to lift up the opposite leg. We are going to move our pelvis towards the femur. Now with this exercise, you'll want to make sure that your femur is not moving as I rotate. So our femur should stay stabilized as I rotate my pelvis towards it. Now feeling a nice stretch in the back of my glute here. I'm just holding onto the wall so I have some balance because this is not supposed to be a balance exercise. So again, what you don't want to do is you don't want to move the femur. Again, femur stays nice and still. We rotate the pelvis. Now, this should feel like a really nice opener in the back of those glutes. Really great to lengthen the pelvic floor, your deep hip external rotators, and just create space in the back of the pelvis. As a back view, what that looks like, I'll do the other leg, having the leg up, and then I'll rotate my pelvis and then back up. So I'm rotating into hip internal rotation and coming back to neutral. You don't have to go all the way up, so just stop here. So internal, neutral. Now you want to make sure that you aren't when you do this, you want to make sure you're side bending at your trunk. So make your trunk and your pelvis one unit as you rotate. So trunk and the pelvis as a unit, rotating. So give that a try. Again, one of my favorite exercises to relieve SI joint pain. Perfect if you have a lot of lower back tightness, SI joint pain, whether you are like a person who's sitting at a desk for a long period of time, or whether you have a lot of pain back here when you're bending over lifting something up, or if you are pregnant. This is really common to have a lot of pain in the back of the pelvis. So give this exercise a try. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below.